What's up, everyone? How are we? So this is my very first YouTube video that's actually made specifically for YouTube. So this is a new thing, but it's one of my goals for 2026 to start doing this and try and get good at it. So this one's probably going to be really bad, so bear with me. I'm learning this. This is all a new thing for me. So I just got this 2026 HD Street Glide and I'm really freaking stoked on it. So I want to do my very first video on adjusting the preload on this bike. And this is something that you should do on any new bike when you get it. And I did not even know that this was something you were supposed to do. I don't know anything about new bikes. This is a totally new experience for me. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what my take is on all this. I've never really ridden a bike like this. I'm coming from shit like this. This is kind of what I'm used to. So the thing with the Street Glide, it's like, I'm really excited to have a bike where I push the button and I can go. I can do a trip, a long distance trip in a really short amount of time with ease. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I really am out there. Really just the goal is to use the hell out of this thing. Like I wanna put in miles, I wanna use it, I wanna do tasteful additions to it that make it better for me ergonomically. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I got black on black, I wanted something simple, timeless. You cannot beat this motor. This is a 117 Milwaukee 8. This thing will go 100 miles an hour like it's nothing. You know, and the bikes that I'm used to riding, if you're going 80 on these things down the freeway, they're vibrating like they're gonna freaking explode. It feels like a bomb. So this is a really cool experience for me to ride a new bike. I'm super grateful for Harley Davidson, and let's freaking get into it. Let's adjust the preload on this thing. First thing, that's what we're gonna do. So I think the first step is to take off the bags. So we're gonna do that. Super easy. I don't know how the production on this is gonna turn out because I don't have anyone filming. I'm just doing this all myself. But this right here, this is like my daily driver. This is what I'm used to. You know, and it was weird for me when Harley asked me if I wanted a new bike, because I've always kind of been one of those guys that I kind of felt too cool for new bikes almost. And you know, I would kind of came to the conclusion that that's ridiculous, and why shouldn't I try a new bike and see what it's all about? You know, it doesn't mean that I can't still own my bikes and ride them. So to me, I'm really excited to try something different and kind of incorporate the two worlds, like maybe put my perspective of what riding old motorcycles means to me and putting my perspective on the new bike thing and kind of seeing what happened, what can I create, what is this experience going to be like, and kind of define new bikes for me. So that's what I'm out trying to do. I look at this like a challenge. It's like, what can I do with a new bike and how can I use it in a way that is me? So that's what we're going to be out here doing, and we're going to get right into it. Okay, so I think all new Harley Davidsons come with the spanner tool to do this job, because this is like the first thing you're supposed to do. This is also a brand new motor. So I rode like an hour back from the dealer and I was keeping it super, super easy. I'm varying the RPMs, I'm taking it easy, I'm not going too crazy on this motor because everything is so fresh. So for the first 500 miles, I'm gonna be taking it easy. I wanna break this thing in proper because this is gonna be a bike that I ride for a very long time, and I wanna do it justice and I wanna treat it right. So, yep, first 500 miles, super easy, oil change, then another 1,000. I'll be going by the book on this, and I don't go by the book on anything. Like my old bikes that I run, I'm just figuring it out as I go. And luckily, I get to where I'm trying to go normally. Sometimes, not all. Wow, that came off so easy. Amazing. I love it. Let's see, I'm gonna put these. Dang, this thing actually looks pretty tough without the bags on, but I'm keeping the bags because I want storage, definitely. All right, let's take off the other side. And there it is. There's the spanner to do this job. Great. Very cool. HD Folsom, thank you. Thank you for all the help. We're gonna take this one off. Super easy to take these off. You don't need anything. No tools. I don't know anything about this stuff. This is all new. All new to me. I didn't know it was this easy to take bags off. These are actually heavier than I thought. Dang, slimmed down. It's like a chopper already. Look at that. Three generations of Harley Davidsons. Kind of cool. I love it. HD. All right. All right, so obviously, like the first thing that I did when I got this new bike home is I started looking at some parts, a few parts that I would want to buy for it. Is this video hard to watch? Probably. This is my first time, okay? Give me a break. I don't know what I'm doing. So I went online and I started looking for parts, and obviously the first page I went is the Thrashin website because those guys, they're like the coolest dudes in new bikes from my perspective. That's what I envision, like my crew or myself riding a new bike. I want it to be like that. Those guys just look like they have so much fun. So obviously I picked up, first thing I bought for this thing is the adapter plate for their risers and bar setup. And this is a Street Glide specific part, I guess. You need it, and this is so that you can clear the, I don't know, all this shit on the fairing. So that's the plan. So here we go. Beautiful freaking part. Made in the USA. I'm freaking stoked on it. I love it. Looks great. Can't wait to use it. Gonna run their bars and risers as well on this thing. They did a video over on 2 Lane Life where they put some 6.5 inch pullback risers and a mid-bend bar on a Street Glide. And when I saw that, I was like, that is what I want to do on this thing. Like, that's the setup I want. I think it looks great, looks super comfortable. It gives it that little bit of like aggressiveness in the stance and riding position, which is what I like. Because I kind of have a height that I like my hands off the ground. I think that's what I've noticed. Like, this bike right here, my pan shovel, the bars are actually the same exact height off the ground that they are on my white bike right here. So completely different set of bars, different style, but the height, the riding position is the same. And I found that that's what works for me. So it's a good riding position for sure. I fucking love this thing though. I love the old bikes, but that doesn't mean I can't love new bikes as well, right? I appreciate the different aspects of the culture. I appreciate being able to push a button and go somewhere at 100 miles an hour and not break down. But I also appreciate the experience of getting on an old chopper with your friends and riding a long way and breaking down and making the experiences and the memories. So there's room for everything for me. And that's what I am really trying to preach, is that I think we're all similar. When you boil it all down, we're all the same. We're all the same kind of people. We're out there trying to live our version of freedom. And Harley Davidson means freedom to me. So They're the only motorcycles I've ever ridden. Since I've been into motorcycles, I've only ridden Harleys. That's the only motorcycle that really spoke to me and made me take action and want to get into the culture. So I'm proud to be all Harley all the time, like forever. That's where I'm at. That's what I love. Okay, back to the preload. Let's get going on this. All right, so here's the tool. This is where we're gonna adjust the preload. Right here, there's a lock nut and then the adjuster, and that's where we're gonna do this. And this is gonna make sure that the shock, the rear suspension is set up correctly for my rider weight and what I'm gonna have on this bike most of the time. So I'm gonna be riding a ton with a passenger on this bike, so I'm gonna set it up with that in mind. There's also an extra adjuster on the left side, which you don't need the tool for, and that's what you can make fine-tune adjustments with. Say if you throw like a pack on the back of your bike, you can adjust it for like that extra 30 pounds or something to really dial in your ride. So let's see. Dang, I love factory service manuals. This is like my favorite thing to see. I've got like a panhead one, I got one for my shovel head. I love having these and holding on to them because they have a lot of good information on there. I'm gonna see if the preload information is in here, if they have that chart in here. They probably will, but maybe they don't. I don't know. Okay, here we go. This is what we want right here. So this is gonna show my rider weight. This is the table we're looking at to adjust the preload. So we're gonna loosen the lock nut here. Let's see what we got right there. It's already up at the top. Okay, perfect. That's where we want it. So this thing's already zeroed out. So let's see where we're gonna go. So let's say rider weight, 180 pounds. So I'm like 180 pounds. And then with an additional weight of like 20 pounds of gear. So it looks like we're gonna do 9 millimeters of preload. That's what we're gonna set it at, 9 millimeters of preload. Okay. Now I don't have anything to measure in millimeters, which is kind of funny, but I just don't. So we're gonna do it in inches, which everyone knows that 9 millimeters is about 3/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that, and that's how I'm gonna do it. Again, this is coming from like a guy who rides total shitbox old bikes. So I'm not very precise. I'm kind of rough in everything I do, but I think this is still gonna be good enough. So let's do it. So we're gonna hear 3/8 of an inch is what we're going for. Okay, that's a 1/4 inch. We're almost there. Getting close. That's like a 1/16 off. Just gonna do a little bit more. That's probably good. Then I'm gonna lock her down. pretty cool. So this job is done. Now this bike is dialed in for my rider weight. And I'm really excited to see how it rides differently. I've heard this is just a night and day difference once you set the rear suspension for your own rider weight. Definitely feels a little bit more firm, which is what I like. I mean, I'm used to rigid shit, so, you know, firm suspension. Yeah, I can't wait to ride it. Now on the left side of the bike, so you can dial this in even more. There's a hand adjuster that you don't need a tool for. So let's say you're gonna go on a trip and you're gonna throw like 50 pounds of gear on here. You're gonna fill your saddlebags. Like I might have some camping supplies, like maybe some camera equipment and stuff. I'm gonna adjust this like this. You turn that and it clicks, and it'll tell you exactly how many clicks per the amount of weight that you're adding. So this is another way to dial in your bike and make that ride even more tailored to you whenever you go out. So this is really cool. I'm stoked. This is kind of the first thing I'm doing. Next mod on this bike is going to be the bars, and I'm really excited to try and do that myself. You know, a bar job costs a lot at the dealer on a new bike. I'm used to choppers where you just throw on a set of handlebars that cost like $50. So this is a new thing. I'm going to get into it. I can't wait. I know you have to remove part of the fairing, so that's going to be kind of exciting. But changing the bars is going to be really cool, and I think a really positive thing for the ride. All right, so now we're going to put the bags back on, and then I'll talk a little bit about what this channel is going to be and what I'm trying to do with it, but I think this was a good place to start. So this is my first video, and I've got a lot of big plans for this channel. I really do. I want to do a lot of travel stuff. I'm going to be doing trips where I'll make videos about the trip. I'm going to be interviewing people that I really admire, whether they be in motorcycles or fashion or vintage, just kind of all the stuff that I'm into, and kind of showcasing people that I think are really freaking rad. So that's going to be a part of the channel. And then I'm going to do a lot of like how-to shit, like stuff that is basic. I'm not a builder. I'm not an expert at this. I basically know enough to get by, and I want to kind of show my journey and how I work on these bikes, because I think that's a good way to learn. I know people chime in, and you can learn a lot from YouTube. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And there's going to be a lot of chopper type shit. I mean, I'm going to do a lot of stuff with me working on this bike, my black bike, along with the Street Glide, and kind of wrapping this all into one thing, which is, you know, my world, basically. Like, this is the stuff that I'm actually doing every day. This is what I'm into. And yeah, you know, I think it's cool because YouTube is so, it's real. Like, this isn't rehearsed. I didn't write this. You know, like, my shit on Instagram is it's ridiculous. It's hyperbole. And I do it that way because it's fun, and I think it's more entertainment based, but I really want the YouTube channel to be something different. So again, this is my first time. If you watched all this, you are a saint. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna just keep getting better at this and learning Final Cut and learning how to edit and learning how to talk in front of the camera. But that's one of my goals for this month. And it was hard to kind of decide when to start this, you know, like I felt like nothing is gonna be good enough. Like, what should my first video be? But really, you just have to start doing it. That's the one thing I think I've learned through all this whole process of doing Storm Riders and creating my brand is you cannot pay attention to how good what you're doing is. You have to just fucking keep working and put it out. So that's what this is. We'll see what this video ends up doing. I have no idea, but there's a lot more to come with Storm Riders on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but here I am. All right, guys. Bye.